So I've never really thought I'd see the day where there was somebody who really kind of supports Jen Soto. And I'm talking about not even her family, I think, supports Jen Soto. I'm not sure, but it's a unanimous vibe that I get that everybody thinks that this woman is guilty. But we have, of course, the outliers. We have ourselves Miss Natalie, and this was apparently the best friend of Jen Soto's sister. Okay? And between that whole relationship, they ended up living together, and she lived as a roommate next to Jen Soto. And for some reason, she has no idea the weird shit that was going on in that house. No clue. Not at all. Just no clue. Stephen Stearns, he was a wallflower. We never even saw him. Jennifer, oh, she just stayed in her room. I thought Madeline slept outside every night. Listen, I will say as a roommate, ladies and gentlemen, I know a thing or two about having roommates, okay? And as a roommate, you know when things are happening. You know sleeping arrangements. You know when people bring people over. You know when somebody brings their kid over from the mom because it's his weekend. You know all that shit. You know why? Because you live together, big dog. But anyways, I'm gonna let you guys decipher this for yourselves. This was a live stream that we did today, and this is the condensed version. But shout out Guilty of Crime for finding this interview because it is quite an interesting one. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and jump into this thing.
And there has, for the sake of Manny, there has to be a deep investigation. That's as far as I know.
Okay.
So, because I don't talk to anybody about this, I've been really at home. My boss gave me the time off, so like I've been just healing here.
Perfect. Keep doing that. This is a lot. And being that you were kind of close to the situation, it makes it that much worse for you. You know, so if you have family support and stuff like that, that is the best thing for you. You know, and if your boss is giving you time off, then it makes it even better. Yeah. Look, you're still getting paid, but it is what it is. So, all right, I'm just going to start kind of from the beginning. How did you and Jennifer become to know each other?
So I first met Stephanie Soto. She's my best friend.
Okay. Stephanie is Jennifer's sister. If I'm
Yes.
not mistaken. Okay.
And I'm pretty sure we met in middle school, but we got really close in high school.
Okay.
And then getting close, like you make family. I met her mom, her stepdad, and like little sister. Then met Jenn. At some point when we graduated, we all three of us moved in together, and I think we lived together for maybe 9 months, 10 months, like between I was like 18, 19. And then Jenn got pregnant with Maddie, and then she moved out, and then we all took our separate lives, but we stayed close. And because we ended up having children the same age, we kept the kids together. So Maddie was one of my son's first friends.
Okay.
Damn.
Because my son is 12, Maddie's just turned 13. So that's kind of, in that process of raising kids together, like you kind of form like a sisterhood. And
Whenever
Jenn,
whenever you're about to get cooked by the police officers, and I'm not saying anything's gonna happen with her. She sounds normal for the most part so far. But whenever they hit you with the yeah, like that that high pitched shit. If I'm telling the story and the cop is like, listen, give me my fucking lawyer. That shit. I swear to God, I've watched enough interrogation videos to understand that tone of voice. That's that tone of voice where like, yeah, we're getting somewhere incriminating. It's fine. It's just a little incriminating. It's fine. Hold on, let's back that up. Again, I'm not saying they're on to her for anything. Probably not. It's just that tone of voice gets me on edge.
like you kind of form like a sisterhood. And and with Jenn, I always felt a little bit close because we shared just, I guess, similar struggles, like with anxiety. And like, I feel like she was able to share with me, like I was able to share with her, like just anxiety as a mother takes some time, you know?
She's easy to talk to.
Yeah, and I felt like naturally me as a person, I'm very much like, I want my peoples to do good. Like, I don't want anybody around me to fail because that's a reflection of who you are. So even throughout this entire time, I've been helpful, like just trying to like help the family as much as I can. That's just the personality that I am. So I kind of gravitated to her because I felt like she needed that too, you know? So at some point, I needed a place to stay. I was, having lived on your own and then having to come back home. You crave wanting to have your own space at some point. And Jen had the room available, and I still happened to be a master, so I don't have to share a bathroom with anybody. And that's how we get to the point where I'm there. But our friendship spans from like since I first met her.
Gotcha.
We just kind of like developed that because I was best friends with her sister. We never, till this day, like she was her sister.
When did you move into the place in Venetian Bay?
2000.
And I mean, it's kind of like your best friends, your besties. So you talk about sex and you talk about this and the other and all that other shit, right? Your best friends, and you didn't know anything was happening. And let's take it a step further. Let's take it one step further. Your best friends and your roommates, and you didn't know something was going on. I mean, child services. I don't care how good of friends we are.
Like, I almost made it 2 years. In January, it would have been 2 years.
Okay, so 2022-ish? Okay. When you moved in, who all was living in the house?
Jenn, Maddie, there was and I never call her name. I'm very much like in my own world always, but she was like an older lady, maybe like 30. I'm sorry. I forget how old I am sometimes. Sorry. But she was like maybe 30. But 2 years ago, I was moved in. I was 2 years. So I was 32. So she kind of seemed older to me, but she was always to herself, hardworking. And then Angelica, which she lived right next to me. And then myself. So we have 4 females essentially.
Okay.
Lived together.
4 females.
At any point between 2022 and now, did anybody move out and move in?
The older lady,
okay,
she moved out.
Do you know roughly when?
I want to say like 6 months after, like between 6 or 7 months after.
After you moved in? Okay.
Yeah.
So summertime of 2022-ish.
Yes, I mean, because we didn't live with her for too long after I moved in.
Okay.
And I'm thinking the span 2 years, right? So it had to be within the 6 months that she left.
Okay. So she moves out. Does anybody move into her room?
No. I think that they wanted to keep it open to possibly rent it out. As much as I wanted to rent it out for my son, it just wasn't something that I could.
So in total, there was 4 people, and then Stephen Stern started living with Jen. That's 5 people in the house with a child. So that's 6 people in total, right? That's 6 people moving around the house. You mean to tell me nobody knew something was happening?
Gotcha. Now, I know because I've been inside the house or condo, townhome, whatever you want to call it, and I see bedrooms are numbered. So downstairs is the master bedroom. Then upstairs is 2, 3, and 4. So what number were you staying in?
2.
Okay.
Corner right. Corner left with the master bathroom.
And recently, so within the last few months, Angelica was still staying there. Do you know what room she was staying in?
Next to me, so I think she was number 3.
Okay.
Pretty sure. She was to my, when it come in, she was my right.
Okay, and was anybody staying in number 4?
So, once this lady moved out, they had it open for a good amount of time. And then,
No.
so within, I want to say the time that this lady moved out, at some point, Stefan moves in.
Okay, so we're back down to 5 people. We're not at 6 anymore. We're back down to 5.
And
hear
the
that?
reason why, so like Stefan for like the last 5 to 7 years, I want to say, has been like, he was part of the furniture type shit. Like he was in the surroundings. So like seeing him move in wasn't something that like, because at that point I had known about him and seen him, like it didn't seem like a big deal. I mind my business.
Well, I mean, listen, you get how you live. If you have roommates, I have roommates, and I fucking hated my well, one set of roommates. They were fucking stupid, fucking just worst ass fucking roommates I could ever imagine. I'm sure I wasn't the best roommate either, but holy shit, they were just some. Anyway, long story short, you might have guys and girls in there. You know, it is what it is. If you need to, if you need to live somewhere, you gotta live somewhere. So I don't fault her for that. What I think is, yeah, let him move in, and then when the weird shit starts happening, that's when you say, all right, this motherfucker's gotta go. You're gonna have to find a new roommate or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. I just know if weird shit was happening, I would tell somebody. I'm sorry. I'm snitching. I'm snitching.
Right? Like I do my due diligence for me and my son. I can only ask that for like, the people around me. So in that situation, because he never came at me at all with anything, I didn't. I stayed in my business. I stayed in my little corner. He stayed downstairs. And then at some point they break up or they have.
I appreciate you, Smiru. What's up, Mary? How you doing?
They have some type of issue. He needs his space or whatever the fuck. He moves upstairs. Like maybe.
Okay.
So, and I want to say he lived upstairs for like maybe.
Thank you.
3 or 4 months. And then at some point he leaves. Once he leaves, I don't know what happens once he leaves. Then you start seeing him come back around just to like visit. And again, I mind my business. I'm in and out. I see him like, yo, what's up? Jen, you good? We keep it moving. Like that was just like.
But you see how adamant she is to say like, well, I mean, listen, I would try. I would be distancing myself as well. But you see how she's like so big on the fact that she minded her own business. Listen, I just minded my own business. I just did whatever the fuck. Listen, maybe I'm just nosy, but when it's not like I have my ears on the wall. You know what I'm saying? But when the roommates are arguing, because there's a couple that live next to us, like we were roommates for a second, me and my girlfriend. It was horrible, fucking terrible. Anyway, when when you hear them arguing, I don't close my ears. You know what I'm saying? I'm receiving the information. It's not my fault you're arguing in my vicinity. Come on, the walls aren't that thick. I refuse to believe the walls are so thick for you to not know. You mind your own business, but that's your best friend. You mind your own business, but that's your friend from middle school. Make that make sense. My best friend from middle school, I'm not minding my own business. I'm walking into your room unannounced. I'm going through your shit. I'm drinking your liquor out the cabinet. I'm rolling up the weed that you bought. I mean, feel some type of way about it. I don't know. Maybe that's just how I am with my friends, but I feel like there's a bit more of a connection there if you've known this person since middle school. But maybe that's just me. Maybe some friends just mind their business. The fuck does that mean?
Day life, right? Like that was it. So once he starts, at some point, I guess.
And I only do that to the friends I know I could do that to. I'm not going to come into your house and just start drinking your liquor. I'm talking about a specific few people.
At some point I didn't even know he was here. Like I had no idea, but that room ends up being used for him to be able to be there and help her if like she needed help with the dogs or something like that.
Why would she need help with the dogs?
What I'm saying now is what pretty much, because I didn't understand why he was here. Like I didn't know he was here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am not nitpicking. Sometimes I feel like I'm nitpicking, but this is not one of those times. Why the fuck would he need to pull up for the dogs?
Or if like she needed help with the dogs or something like that. Again.
Huh? It's a Chihuahua. The fuck are you talking about?
What I'm saying now is what pretty much, because I didn't understand why he was here. Like I didn't know he was here. So by the time I'm being told that Maddie is gone, I'm like, well, what do you mean? Who dropped her off at school? Stefan. Okay, well, what the fuck is Stefan here? Oh yeah, he stayed there overnight. I was like, what the fuck? But anyways, so like at some point, I guess because it was open, then that allowed him to be able to have somewhere to stay with, I guess, when he was trying to help Jenn with the dogs, something like that. In the time that I stayed there.
I'm sorry. Before she even says anything, what the fuck? Again, help with the dogs? Madeline is 12, my guy. Send Madeline to go walk the dog. We don't need Stefan. It's not like she's walking a pit bull or a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, needed help with the dog. What do you have, 3 German Shepherds? You have like 3 Huskies that you gotta go walk every morning? Oh, shit. Oh my God. That's what you get for being a fucking asshole. Hey, go sleep. Oh, let me give you a rub so you're not scared. Hold on. All right, go sleep. Hey, go sleep. Go sleep. Go. It's not like she has 3 German Shepherds or a fucking angel that knocks shit over that she has to go take care of. She has a Chihuahua that pisses on the floor. That's what that's what she has.
Out. At any point, if they use that for him to stay at some point, if I didn't see him downstairs, I didn't know. But from what I remember, he stayed there for 4 months, for like
Happy birthday.
and then he left.
So before we dive into that dynamic,
Go sleep.
relationship wise, so what was your relationship with Angelica?
So Angelica's a very nice person. She's a very cordial person. You can tell that that she comes from like a family that taught her like about her culture. She would cook a lot, and like I'm not the best cook, so like I like to learn and I like to see, and especially if the food smells good. Me and my son are there, you know. So it ends up being like a little bit of like because Maddie was downstairs, we ended up watching her cooking together. But that's
Thank you.
as far as it really goes, because again, you know, I'm an operation manager. I work between 40 to 50 hours a week.
Where do you work at?
It's called Integrity Reconstruction and Roofing. So we work in like plumbing and service industry, like the service, like plumbing industry. So we go to people's houses and
Gotcha.
Yeah.
fix their plumbing. But anyways, I pretty much run like 3 different departments. So I'm just always like in and out. But as far as like every time I talked to her, it was really pleasant, hi and bye. If I sat down and spoke to her, it was like we had like a Valentine's Day type of situation, because like we were all like at that point single, and like it's especially for her, she doesn't really have anybody out here, so like we just try to do something special together. And I get to know her and her situation, but it wasn't anything like, I'm not like, even to now, if I check in with her, it's just to make sure she's okay. But like, am I talking to her every day? I never really spoke to her every day. If I spoke to her because I saw her in the kitchen cooking, essentially.
So when you would live there, you said a majority of your time was spent in your bedroom. Any point that you would hang out in the living room? I know some of the living room was partitioned off for Maddie. Everybody pretty much stayed themselves in their room.
So, if we gathered, it was because either like I was cooking and Jeremiah and Maddie were watching me cook, or we were having a birthday get together or Easter get together. Like we try our best to keep the kids together throughout the occasions, just because all of us are so busy throughout the week. And when I mean us, I mean like the group of kids. It was Maddie, Aloysia, and Jeremiah. You know what I'm saying? So like those were the kids that were typically together, and Aloysia's sister.
Who's Aloysia?
It's Stephanie's daughter.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep.
So those were the moments that we would really congregate around that area. But as far as on a day-to-day, I was mostly upstairs. Because if we were home, it's because we had finished going to school, picking up the groceries, taking my son to therapy. The errands of the day were done, and our time to kind of like calm down, start our night routines. That's the time that we were pretty much home. Is during the time that we're settling down, going to sleep. Because then the next morning we're back outside. Either whether it's the weekend, we're out, or either walking, hiking in the lakes, trying to keep ourselves busy. If I was home, it was momentarily take a nap, get ready, be out again, parents' house. So I just intentionally for my son, I try to keep myself really busy because I work so much throughout the week.
So Stefan, how long? Okay, so you've lived there 2 years. Was Stefan already living there at the time, or?
So I know, and like I said, he was very much, it seemed like he was part of the furniture type, like around for so long in the background that like, I want to say that when I started living there, he was already like, if he wasn't moved in, he was already like settled in type.
Would it fair to say that he was already established there, like clothes and?
I think so. Like belongings, but like really in her life, yes. Like he believe me, like, and it's so weird knowing just the all little stuff that I know now because you're around someone for so long, and it's like you don't really ever know anybody like at all. But anyways, unfortunately, seeing him wasn't something. Like I said, he was part of the background.
What was your relationship with him?
So I don't like, my only issue with him really was that throughout the time of, if they ever had like a fight or a breakup, the venting that I received from Jenn was that, you know, he didn't provide at all, and he didn't like. So, I mean, I have my expectations for someone that I'm with, and like, we share those expectations, me and Jenn, and he just wasn't living up to that. And it was mostly because of whatever mental health stuff. Listen, everybody has a mental health. I don't want to judge anybody, but those still got to get paid. And that was always my issue. And when I don't like to be ingenuine. So when I feel that way, I keep you at like an arm's length. Like, I don't really get close to you like that. Like, if I can't really fucks with you like that, like, I'm not really around you being fake like that. So that was how I kept him. And again, very much part of like the scenery. Like, he didn't stand out to me.
I wish.
Like,
Would you consider him a friend?
No.
Okay.
No, because I never spoke to him outside of the hi and bye. I never had his number. If I know anything about him, Jenn would vent to me the issues that they would have with a couple.
What kind of issues would they have?
It's the having to, he was at the house and like, cause he lived there longer than I did for sure. So, just not bringing in money of his own, really, not being able to hold a job, and really whatever mental health issues he had, being that crutch of why he can't do and operate.
Now, did you form this opinion prior to all of this happening within the last week, or have you talked to Jenn and you kind of came up with the same?
They've been together for like well, they were together for like 5 or 7 years between that.
7.
And this is feedback from all these years.
Okay.
So once we started living together, the venting, like there was no communication in regards to the relationship, just because like once you start living together, like I want to be able to hold the peace, and she does too. And it's hard to like, it's hard to let someone in when you live with them like that. Like I don't want, if she ever needed to talk to me about anything, I know that she would. But when we started living together, we didn't talk as much as when we did when we didn't live together. Like I would see her every day. If we took the kids to the pool, then we had like maybe 15, 20 minutes to catch up while the kids were at the pool.
That's still bullshit. Okay, you don't fucks with her like that, but you see her every single day. I don't know, bro. It's just I don't know. Maybe she just has a degree in minding her own business. Maybe she's just really good at minding her own business. You know, some people are good at that, and hey, that, you know, there's a difference between situational awareness and minding your own business, though. I feel like in this type of case, there's a little bit of situational awareness that plays out that you should have. Like, you're literally saying you're venting. She's coming to you venting about this guy, and you didn't find anything weird. But
we wouldn't really talk about Stefan. Like I think it came to a point where she had talked and vented so much to me when they finally broke up, that
other than, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but did she come out and tell you the reason that they were breaking up is because he's not providing, or were there other reasons?
That was pretty much like, I think they were fighting a lot. And
what would they fight over? Do you know?
The sex was bad.
I don't no specific detail.
Listen, if the sex is bad, your relationship's finna be bad, you know? And I think, you know what's really funny about Jenn? She made a point to tell the police officers that one time. Now, granted, your child is missing. She made a point to say that the sex between her and Stefan was dog shit. She went as far to say it hurt. We didn't even ask that question. We just asked if y'all did any freaky shit in the bedroom. She was like, no, I don't even like regular sex because, frankly, it hurt. He has a chode. It's too wide and not long. You know what I mean? Like, she's given all the details.
I just know that, like, sometimes I would hear them fighting, like, yelling.
Yeah, the relationship will be dog shit if you can't. If that's not going right, something's going to happen. And we clearly see why.
But like I couldn't really hear specific details. And then, like I said, she really stopped talking to me once they got back together, because I think she felt kind of like weird, her talking so much shit to me about him breaking up and then at some point getting back together. She didn't really even tell us that they were back together, to be honest with you. So like at some point within the 2 years of me living there, like she stopped really venting to me about Stefan and about the relationship. If there was really any issues of wanting to get a job, you know, and I was really proud of her because she ended up having a
damn
job.
Like, what's the two things that will destroy a relationship, right? You don't got no money, right? I mean, it could go a long time, but say not even the fact that you don't have any money, but you don't have any ambition and you don't have no money. You don't have any money, one, and two, the sex is bad. Because one, sex will go a long way. For some years, probably. You lay the pipe properly, you could be a bum. The relationship will go a few years, but then it's going to die because you're just a bum. Same thing goes for if you have money. You could have a lot of money and be horrible in bed. It'll last for a few years, vice versa. You could have good dick, no ambition, no money. It's going to last for a few years, but it's finna die. It's not finna. You gotta have both, man, or at least be decent in both categories.
The Disney concierge, and she was doing super well, like in that mental aspect. But but like it wasn't really about Stefan. It was more like about personal, like having to, maintain this job, like, cause she's never really been able to maintain like a really good, stable job
Yes.
herself because of her own issues. So she was really excited about this, and those were the type of conversations that we were trying to have just to kind of stay positive. But I know that the biggest issue that she would tell me when she was venting to me was about him not being able to provide. I think at some point, once he started working, like he would spend money on stupid shit.
Yep.
It was always
Of
very
course.
financial, the issue that she would vent to me.
Gotcha.
That's sad.
How was... All right, so when they broke up and got back together, when roughly was that? Do you remember? The last couple of weeks, months, year?
No. He had moved out. He had been out the house because remember he went upstairs for like maybe 4 months, and then he had been out the house already for like I think like between 7 or 8 months before I started seeing him again. Like it was like I want to say between 6 or 8 months before I started seeing him again.
All right, so within the last couple months, say December of last year up until now, how
You see what
often
I'm
do you-
saying? That's that lack of ambition too. She's always begging him to get stuff. Then he finally gets a job, and then he buys Legos and shit with it, Tamagotchis. Come on, bro. I wouldn't want to fuck him either. Come on. Nobody would want to fuck him. I mean, buy yourself some Tamagotchis and take me out for dinner. Then we're doing something. Then we're getting somewhere. But yeah, I mean, and it's not gold digging or dating. Listen, I'm not saying marry for money or anything like that, but you can't marry a fucking bum. I'm sorry. Love only goes so far. Love, it is not unconditional. I promise you that. Maybe for your child. I feel like that might be the only unconditional love that exists in this world. You gotta be coming with something. I'm sorry. Like, come on.
think you would see him?
Maybe a total of 3 times, maybe. I think.
Anything like significant why he would be coming back? Or
Maddie?
just random times
So- I think the first 2 times I was like, I believe he just would stop by. I want to say.
Did Jen say why he would come by?
No, if I saw him, it was because I literally physically saw him, like sitting in the chair where he would sit, and I like again just hey, good Jen,
what's up?
and then just go upstairs.
Okay. All right. What's your work schedule like throughout? Like, is it pretty consistent or?
Yeah, I have to be because I go by my son's schedule.
Oh, okay.
So I try to be out the house between 7:45. Well, I have to be out the house by 7:50. But like 7:45 is the time that I'm trying to like be out. And from there, I drop my son off here so that my parents can take him to school. He needs to be at school by 9, and I start work at 9.
I think so.
Gotcha.
So I'm typically here between 8:15 and 8:20, and then it takes me about 30-40 minutes to get to work, depending on traffic. I work in Ocoee, the office.
Okay.
In Ocoee. So I'm there until Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm there between 9. I get there and 3:30. On Wednesdays, I'm there between 9 and 2:30 because Wednesday is early day.
Early day, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming he goes to the street right down school right down the street. Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the office work. Once I'm done with that, we either have dinner here or.
But everybody seemed to have a routine except Jenn Soto. She's the only one that didn't really have a routine. She talked about this time and this time, but the morning that Maddie went missing, it was all over the place. And I'm listening to her.
You know why? But I believe her though, because Jenn doesn't have. She's a sleep potato. I think that's why guilty of crime has that little Mrs. Potato Head on her set because she's a couch potato, a bed potato, and she looks like a fucking potato, guys. That right there is a fucking potato, bro. Look at the bloop. A russet potato, very nutritious. Very, very nutritious. I hear people across the water, they like to eat those potatoes and whatnot, you know? Shout out my people in the UK. You guys would probably like her. You guys probably get hungry around this girl. You know, they probably get hungry around her and don't even know why. It's probably like some type of placebo effect or something. You just start getting hungry. You see her face and it's like, damn, I could go for some fucking potatoes and chicken right now.
I make something at home. So we could be home between, and that's like, let's say if I don't have to pick anything up, we're home between 6 and 7. We're home between 6 and 7. I finish like an hour of work. He finishes his homework. Then we start getting ready for bed, and
I'm dead ass, bro. I get, maybe it's just because of, maybe I'm talking from my own. I feel that way. I feel kind of hungry. And now I kind of understand why I get hungry when I see her.
I either fall asleep with him or I stay up watching TV and finishing work until I fall asleep.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I'm going to now dig into kind of more detailed information. But before I start that, I know you and Jenn are friends. You and Stefan aren't necessarily friends. You and Angelica are kind of acquaintances too. And these type of investigations and the seriousness of some of these crimes, we need to get very, very detailed on specific things. Okay. I'm not going to ask you any uncomfortable things, which I don't think are uncomfortable. If you don't feel comfortable at answering some of the things, just let me know and we can see if we can work around it. Okay. All right. So when the weekend of February 25th, 26th ish. So let's say that's Saturday. So we could go from Saturday.
Okay.
Okay. You were still staying at the.
Reminds me of a penguin. Cookie, you're hilarious. She probably does waddle like a penguin too. If we slide her on her belly, she might slide down the street. You never know. Maybe we gotta do it for science one of these days. I don't know. No, I'm not. Don't slide Jenn Soto down the street, guys. If you see her, don't do that. Do not slide her down the street if you see her.
Okay. You were still staying there, I'm assuming. Living there, I guess.
Saturday before everything happened, or yes. I was still living there up to recently. Okay. I moved out because I don't want to be in the house.
Right. Okay, so that's Saturday. Walk me through Saturday.
Okay. I want to say Saturday the 20th. Can I check to see the tickets for?
Yeah, absolutely.
My son likes anime, and a new Demon Slayer movie came out. I just don't know if it was that weekend.
I love Demon Slayer.
These last couple of days have been like one blur. Okay, so today is what day?
Today,
the 7th. Okay.
That Saturday would have been the 24th. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 24th.
Okay. Yeah, we were watching this movie at the South Chase Theater.
Okay, in the evening of Saturday.
Yeah. Okay. So we were there for 2 hours, starting at 7. Well, like an hour and 45 minutes. Starting at 7:30.
Okay. During the day, were you at home?
Let me think that day. Because we had a late evening, I believe. I'm just trying to think because
think about it.
Think
about it.
I was home.
No, I don't think it's a coincidence that we're picking up on the same thing. Man, a little girl makes noise. A little girl does things, bro. I don't know. It's like the presence. You can feel the presence in the house. If something's weird happening, I think you would realize the presence is off. You know what I'm saying? It's just natural instinct. You don't gotta be a detective. You don't gotta, you know what I'm saying?
Between We
or
left
feel something.
by
What the fuck?
6:15. So from 6, okay. Because was that Sunday? No. I'm trying to think because we went to Lake Eola. Give me 1 second. Let me look up my financials. I pay everything with cards, so.
I don't think anybody pays cash for anything nowadays.
There's some places that don't
Right?
accept it. It's kind of scary. Okay, the 24th. Let's see.
So did anything as significant happen on Saturday that you could think of other than
No, we were
Thank you.
really just getting ready for this movie. I know, I mean, I know that I at some point wished Maddie a happy belated birthday. I don't remember if that was Friday or Saturday, but I remember that because I felt bad because I had missed her birthday. But no,
Everybody missed
like,
it.
we probably woke up early. I don't have any transactions, meaning we went for a walk. Came home,
Cute.
took a shower,
Thank you.
started doing like
Thank
my stuff that I typically do on Saturday nights. I was doing it before, so like that we can be ready for the movie.
Yeah.
But nothing seemed out of normal.
Okay. Now Sunday. You see the movie Saturday night.
Yeah.
Do you go back home Saturday night, or did you come here?
No. I
Come
don't
back
know.
home. Okay. So Sunday, walk me through Sunday. What you did that day?
Pretty sure we went to the Lake Eola
Pretty sure. What did you do this Sunday?
Park.
They were photographing the moles on his groin to match the image of the CSA. Disgusting. That's God damn. Imagine they identify you by your disgusting mole on your dick. That must be fucking embarrassing.
Morning, afternoon,
In the
evening?
morning.
Okay.
Yeah. They have, I think you guys know, they have like a market, the farmer's market. So there was this, he didn't like anything at the farmer's market, and he saw sushi on the way there. So we wanted to stop by sushi.
Right?
We ate, we were there until I want to say 12:30, 1 o'clock. And then we started
Yes.
heading back home.
And you know, I do want to say he is kind of a fucking moron too for putting himself in the pictures. Like, imagine doing this disgusting shit and not having the whereabouts to know that you probably shouldn't put yourself in. Oh my goodness! And to think that they were selling this shit. What's the point? Something for you to remember? It's just like P. Diddy. All these weird ass people, they have to keep something to remember it. They can't just do it and let it die. They have to have something to remember that by. They probably don't even look at it. They just know they have it.
The moment that okay, let me think.
Think real hard. Come on.
So
Spit it out.
Just try to help you out a little bit. When you get home, is anybody home?
No, I got home a little bit on the earlier side because we had gone out so early, and we had been walking around, so my son was tired, and we kind of just ended up staying home by by 6:30. Like, we're watching a movie snuggled up. By again 8 o'clock, he's knocking out.
Thank you.
And my Mondays are always really hard, so I try to get some sleep before. But I didn't see anybody there when I got there.
At any point, did anybody come home that you know of?
I never really I always keep the TV so loud, which I'm not doing anymore. But
Right?
no, in my little corner, I never really paid attention, I guess. But no, I once my son falls asleep, I can rest and I just kind of knock out or go into my own little world.
Do you keep your TV on all night?
I have a really bad habit, yeah.
Okay. All right. At any point on Sunday evening, Sunday night, did you see Angelica, Jenn, Maddie, or Stefan at all?
No.
No.
Okay. I didn't even know Stefan was here.
Okay.
Right? Nobody did.
So Monday morning when you wake up, you said you are adamant that you got to leave by 7:45.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So your routine, I know there's a bathroom upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's necessarily attached to your room, right? You got to come out of your bedroom to go to the bathroom?
No, it's inside.
And, okay, so yours is
It's
inside.
a master.
Got it. Okay. So your routine is get up, you do whatever in the bathroom, come out, get changed, get your son ready, and you guys go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when you go and you're leaving your bedroom, did you see anybody that morning?
No. Of course not.
Okay. Did you
no, she
hear
didn't see. She's basically living in the house by herself. She didn't see nobody when she came home. She didn't see nobody when they went to the movies. She didn't see anybody when they got back. She just lives there by herself. You know, type shit. You know, who's there to tell her otherwise? Who's there to prove otherwise? She lives there by herself.
Anybody that morning?
No.
Okay. When you were coming out of your room, you have to pass bedrooms 3 and 4. Is that right? Okay. Were either of their doors open?
No.
So they were closed, or you don't know?
They were closed.
Okay. When you walked downstairs and you were going out to leave, was Jen's dog wandering around anywhere?
Jen's dog is typically sleeping next to the couch.
Okay.
But I don't remember seeing him.
Okay.
I usually see him on the couch. So if I tell you I saw, it's because I typically see him on the couch. But I can't really say if I remember seeing him.
Now, when you leave, do you remember if Jen's door was open or closed?
Her door's always closed, with this much of space so that her cat can come out.
Okay.
Listen, she just don't want. I mean, I kind of get it, but if you've known this family, let's just put it at that. If you've known this family for so long, you gotta know more than that. She doesn't want anything to do with this. Basically, in her mind, she said there's nothing you could prove against it. So no, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see no doors. All doors are closed. The dog is never there. The dog doesn't even exist. I'd never see the dog. She doesn't want anything to do with this at all. And I'm not sure if that's one, because she just doesn't care and she doesn't want to get into it, or two, because she knew more and she didn't do anything about it. Because it's really hard for me to believe that they're taking these photos, doing these weird sexual things in the same house, and you just didn't know that. And you have a son.
Happened to look, be nosy or whatever it may be, and you look towards that to see if the door is open, or could you see anybody inside, hear anybody inside?
No, it was like any other morning.
Okay.
And I just...
Nobody noticed anything.
And how confident are you that you left around 7:45 that morning?
I have a meeting first thing in the morning on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 1 second.
Just answer the
I
questions.
can tell
Drive
you
me
because
nuts.
my boss typically texts me. And if I'm waiting outside for a parking spot, it's always around 9:05.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because it was Monday, I'm up and I had been sleeping late.
She reminds me of Jenn. The questions coming out of her face just kind of pisses me off. I swear, even the friend, it's she can't, hold on, back this up. Watch how long it takes for her to answer this question.
Monday, I'm up and I had been
Monday, and I had been, just answer.
Yeah, because it was Monday, I'm up and I had been sleeping late. Yeah, I had to have left on time because I was at work on time.
Okay. Now, when you say you're leaving on time, you're
Thank
leaving right at 7:45 or before that?
Right at 7:45.
Gesticulation.
Did anything seem out of place downstairs? Did you see something that may be on a counter or a table or anything that you don't really see on a daily basis?
No, no. The table is typically cluttered with stuff.
What you need.
Whether it's like Valentine's Day stuff or whatever arts Maddie was doing. No, it didn't feel any different. It felt like just another day.
Okay. All right. Let's get into Maddie. Anytime when you would leave to go to school, have you ever seen Maddie getting ready in the morning for school or anything like that?
No.
So Maddie typically wakes up when I'm about to like head out. I was.
Yes or fucking no. We're going to figure out why her mom never loved her. You know, the reason she doesn't talk to her brother anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're going to know what type of liquor she enjoys the most. And then she's going to tell us why. Or if she sees Madeline often in the morning. Like, why do we have to go through all of this?
So I'm like downstairs by like 7:40 making lunches. And sometimes I would see Maddie get up, but then sometimes she was late. So it was really yes and no.
Oh, well,
and then I think that there were times where
she answered a lot faster than I thought she would.
She may have been sleeping over her grandma's house. So like,
where would Maddie typically sleep?
In her room.
In the little partition area. Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Now, have you ever seen Maddie get ready for school or anything like that?
No, I think she would get ready in her mom's room.
Okay.
Yeah, no, like if I'm downstairs, it's for that moment, and then I go back upstairs.
All right. Do you know, or have you ever talked to either Maddie or Jen, when Maddie gets ready for school, like when she would get dressed for school, if you know or if you heard, would she just go in her closet, pick out what she's going to wear for the day, or do you know how that would work?
So, not really, because I wasn't involved with like I wasn't in Jen's room watching her get her daughter's stuff ready to know. I know, what I do know is that Maddie loved clothes and she loved looking nice, and I can imagine that she would pick out her own clothes. I don't see Jenn being the one picking out her clothes.
Do you think Maddie would lay out her clothes the day before to go to school? Or?
I would see her being that type of person. Have I ever seen it? No. But Maddie liked clothes, and I say that because she would we had that in common. Like, I would go downstairs and like try something on for her.
Where would she normally keep her clothes?
She had a.
What's up, Mary?
I call it a bureau, but it's a drawers, it's drawers, where the TV was. And I want to say she had little drawers on the side, like little plastic ones. I think she may have some stuff in Jen's closet. I don't know, but I want to say that's where she had her clothes, because she had like a whole drawer set in her room, in her little partition area.
Come on,
so
lady.
When you would leave
Come
to
on.
go to work or make breakfast or make lunches downstairs, where
Let's
would
talk about
Maddie typically
that
be?
In her mom's room at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever see her sleeping in her own bed that's down there?
I mean, I've seen her a lot in that area.
She never really answers the question. She's like a politician. She's like a well-trained politician. Well, I've seen her in that area, and by the time, I went to sleep, I wouldn't know what she was doing. Come on. She's never once said that she slept with Jenn. She would be in the room, she would get ready, but no, she usually sleeps in the partition. That's directly contradicting what Jenn said. Directly contradicting it. So who's telling the lie? Who's telling the truth? But what I think is she's the one telling like the half truth or the quote unquote lie because she just doesn't want Jen to get in that much trouble. So what sounds more normal? Jen sleeps in the living room, right?
A lot of the times that I was down there, it was throughout the daytime. It was if it was into the evening, she would be like on her computer. But no, I mean, no,
Come on. What do you mean,
I
no?
guess she had the area closed off too, so I guess I never really like I never really saw her tuck in. Like I was always like in and out. I mean, she would be in there all the time. As far as like a full night's sleep, I guess I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
Did they ever talk about if Maddie would sleep with Jen?
I mean, I want to say yeah. I want to say yeah
yes.
because their alarm, whenever Maddie's alarm would go off, it would go off in her mom's room.
Do you know roughly what time her alarm would go off?
Like 7:40, like 7:30.
So she just said she didn't know, right? She just now said she didn't know. Now she said, well, I guess she just slept in there a lot because every morning her alarm would go off in her mom's room. So she didn't know at all whether or not the little girl was sleeping in her own quote unquote room. But then the alarm goes off basically every morning in her mom's room. So I guess she was in her mom's room. Honestly, I'd be like, thank you, ma'am. Please get the fuck out of here. There's nothing much really here. I thought we were going to hear a lot of big stuff, but this person is clearly covering for her. At the very least, she's trying to make it seem less serious than it is.
7:40.
Okay.
Only because I heard it. And that's around the
Well, of
time
course
I
you
was
did.
sleeping.
Got it. Okay. And typically, Maddie would be in mom's room.
Whenever, yeah, like in the mornings, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever known?
Thank you.
Before I answer that, what was the relationship between Stefan and Maddie?
I always saw him because they had been in each other's and he had been in Jen's life for such a long time. I always kind of felt like that was a father figure to her. I say that I say that really brokenhearted right now, but that's the
You
way
say that really brokenhearted right now? You don't sound too brokenhearted. This lady could give a fuck about what happened to Madeline, honestly. I mean, I can't read her mind. Maybe she's real broke up about it and she just holds a real strong face for everybody. But just cut the shit. At least just be like, listen, bro, I really don't give a fuck and I don't know nothing. This interview could have been 30 minutes to 15 minutes long. But instead she's bullshitting, saying like, oh, I was so hurt, I'm heartbroken. Come on. Bullshit, you're heartbroken.
I say that I say that really brokenhearted right now, but that's
Sure.
the way I saw it. Like I saw him, making food and taking out the dogs, taking out the trash, and being
Part of
that
the
type
couch.
of person in that type of role in their lives. I think that there wasn't a moment where I felt like he could ever hurt her.
That's what everybody says.
Did
Damn.
so when Maddie's alarm clock would go off when she's getting ready for school, and you're saying she's sleeping with mom, would Stefan also be in the room?
So for the last couple
Every time she starts her sentence, so every time, so when people start their sentences with so, that's because they're about to tell a story. It's almost like how do you start a story? Once upon a time there was the little dwarf who lived in the woods. That's what she's doing. So So she's literally telling us that she's about to tell a story, a version of the truth. Just say yes or no. Again, this interview could have been 15 minutes long. Yes, no, yes, nah, I'm not sure. No, yeah, no, she always did that. Yes, no, yeah, she did that a lot. Yes. End of interview. But no, so here we fucking go.
Would Stefan also be in the room?
So for the last couple months, like I didn't even know they were together because he like
That's not what the fuck we're asking. So this is why I'm telling you she's a good politician. Please go into politics because you would have a really good job. Just may the word salad commence. I didn't even know that they were together. So, it was a few days of them, conversing, and then I realized that Jenn was losing weight because of her Ozempic usage, and I think that's what really brought the two of them together because Stefan was, more attracted to her. And so, yeah, maybe. Like fuck, bro. Oh. Not even Jenn was this bad.
if he was there, it was for that moment. Like he wasn't staying overnight.
What does that mean?
Like
what?
in the last couple of months where I would hear the alarm ringing, Jenn was by herself. Mm-hmm. Jenn would sleep with Maddie because Jenn didn't like to sleep by herself.
Now it's Jenn?
But as far as when he was living there, he made that whole area for her right. So that she can sleep there. I never ever thought she wasn't sleeping there while they were together because they had made that whole area for her. When these last couple months that I've noticed her Maddie sleeping in Jenn's room is because she was by herself. It never occurred to me that if they were ever in the same bed together like that, because they had made this area for her. And at some point he was sleeping on the couch.
What about his room?
Did you ever see Stefan alone with Maddie?
There was only one time where I had sent a message to Jenn. I want to say I couldn't sleep. I was going to the gym. And they were playing Atari. I heard them playing Atari. And the door was partially closed. And I texted Jenn. I was like, hey, I just want to make sure you're okay with this because, I grew up in a very different household. My dad doesn't play. So that's just the way I was raised. So I sent her a message. I was like, hey, are you good with this? Are you okay with her being in his room?
So this is the room upstairs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Those were around the time that they were broken up.
Mm-hmm. And what did Jenn say?
And Jenn probably was like, yeah, sure. Jenn was like, yeah, I'm sure that's fine. Oh, they're just playing games. They just want to hang out. They just want to have fun. It's cool. I told Madeline it's probably not right, but she wanted to go up there. What the fuck? That shit is crazy. But, that's typical behavior for Jenn Soto, for sure.
I can pull it up, but I'm pretty sure it was thank you, friend, you're good. To that, I can pull it up if you want me to pull it in.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
But that's the only time where I questioned anything, really, because, again, the way I was raised, we don't play that.
Yeah.
Have you and Jenn communicated after all this happened?
After...
Anytime last week, after Monday.
I've been heavily trying to help the family, help my best friend, and I'm not really I don't know how you console somebody that just lost a kid. I can't imagine how it feels. I don't ever want to know how it feels. The only thing I've spoken to her is just, I'm here. Like, whatever you need, clothes from her house. Like, I'm here to help. That's like as far as the communication with her, how it's been.
Did she ever tell you what happened?
I don't. Mm-mm. Like I'm speaking to you coming from a place of not knowing anything. Like
Of
I've
course.
been very much affected by it because
She's coming from a place of not knowing anything or not wanting to know anything.
Yeah,
That's
it's more
probably
like it, not wanting to know anything. That's more like it. Because even the way she's talking about it, it's like, just leave me out of it. That's the type of vibe she gives off. Just leave me out of it.
so like I always told myself that like, I would protect myself and my son from this.
but that's it.
So it being so close to me, it's affected me in ways that I didn't think it would.
All right. So Sunday night, going into Monday morning, did anything stand out to you? Did you hear any noises? Did you hear anybody walking upstairs or downstairs? Or when's the first time you heard about Maddie going missing?
Stephanie
Nobody
called
saw
me,
any?
I think around 6:30 Monday, asking me if Maddie had gone home because they were looking for her and she never made it to school. The moment that call came in, I went straight downstairs and I checked the bathroom, Jen's room, and her room.
Did you see anything
And
that looked different to you?
it was weird because it was like everything was bundled up. And I don't know if this is how she typically like kept this shit.
When you're talking about her, is that Maddie or Jen?
Yes, Maddie.
Okay.
Maddie's bed. It was just bundled up like if somebody was there. So when I went to grab it, thinking maybe it was, it was a whole bunch of like clothes or like blankets rolled up.
Was that normal?
Maddie wasn't like always the most tidiest person. And she kept that partition pretty close to not be able to see it. Like Maddie struggled with like organization and stuff.
Of course she did.
They're always talking shit about Maddie, and it's so convenient that the good old lumps under the blanket trick made you feel like she was there. Like, what is this, a cartoon? So I didn't think anything of it because I saw a lump under the sheets. Is that what she's really going for? Yeah, there's really nothing. There's nothing much really here, to be honest, guys. Just another one of Jen's friends who's kind of a dense person. Overall, like if you helped her and this is your story, you're a dense person. And if you really just didn't know something was happening, you're a dense ass person. Like, what the fuck? Like, how are you? Somebody in the comments said, where's your mother's intuition? Like, come on. You're either stupid or you didn't want to see it.
And it was weird because I was looking, like at that point I'm looking for her and I see like clothes bundled up and I'm like, oh my God, yeah, it's her. Like,
oh my God, it's her. The good old fashioned put your clothes under the blanket trick. It gets them every time. Oh, that's Maddie over there sleeping. You have a little CD player with a snore track playing. Oh, that's Maddie snoring. The fucker.
I wouldn't be able to say if that's her usual thing or not, but it was just, to me at that moment, weird because like she's missing and this thing is bundled up, like if she's supposed to act like she's there or something like that, like it was just really weird at that point. But
so she ran away, right? She ran away. And she must have bundled the clothes up to throw us off. I almost thought it was her for a minute. Oh my. What the fuck is going on? Damn. This girl reminds me a lot like Jenn. Kind of reminds me a lot like Jenn. The whole personality. Kind of just aloof, stupid, dumb. Or even a better word for it is willfully stupid.
For me to sit back and think if she ever kept, like sometimes she didn't do her bed.
And you notice they're like sisters, man. They're like sisters because all they can do is shit on Madeline. Oh yeah, she was a dirty girl. Sometimes she didn't do her bed. It was kind of hard for her to stay clean. You know, the little partition that we can walk through, that was usually blocked up because Madeline's such a piece of fucking shit. She can't even keep her mind together. Her and Jennifer love doing that shit. That's their number one go-to. Madeline's can't do nothing right. Just so you know. Why did we need to say that? I don't know.
Always had pillows like all over her bed. Should have paid more attention.
When you left,
Yeah.
Do you know
You
what
heard
kind of
that?
car Steven drives, Stefan?
So I end up finding out he's driving this. I
Thank
don't know if
you.
it's Lincoln or whatever. But when I've known him to the last time that I thought I saw him before this whole thing, it was a brown Honda Civic 4-door, and it had like a bump on the front.
Okay. When you left, do you know what Jennifer drives?
Yes.
Okay. The white Nissan. Okay. When you left Monday morning, did you see those cars outside?
I don't remember if I saw her car. So typically she parks in the handicap next, like right there.
Of course,
But
of course, she would park in the damn handicap. Of course, she would park in the motherfucking handicap. I promise you, she would. She would. You know why? Because she has ADD and ADHD and ERD and FRT and SRT. She has all those problems simultaneously hitting her at the same time. I don't even know what all of them are. I just made them the fuck up. But guess what? She has them. And because of that, she's disabled. I could imagine the fucking guy in the wheelchair hobbling out of his fucking van, falling on top of shit, scratching up people's vehicles because Jennifer Soto decided to park in the fucking handicap spot. I promise you. No, but it's my EDD, my ERT, my FRT. The fucking guy with the legs that can't work, scratching up everybody's car, fucking up shit, trying to get out. Promise you.
there's been a van parking there, and like, oh my god, I don't remember if I saw her car or not.
What about
Exactly.
Stefan's car?
I didn't see the Honda because apparently he wasn't in the Honda.
Do you remember seeing the silver car?
It's just so. It's just
No.
such.
Almost.
It's so on brand for Madeline. Not Madeline. Rest in peace. Fuck. It's so on brand for Jenn Soto to park in the fucking handicap spot. So on brand. What's wrong with you? She just hops out the car full bodied, fully functional. Oh, I have PTSD. Bitch, if you don't take your ass to the regular fucking parking spot.
No,
All
I
of a
don't
sudden she
remember
doesn't
because
remember.
I've never seen that car before, and I wouldn't like it. Wouldn't stand out to me. I don't like that car.
All right. Circling back to, so Stefan is pretty much living at this house up until, according to you, 6-8 months ago. Now, did you ever see Maddie coming and going from his room or Jen's room? I know you said the only time that you've known them to be together is when you text Jennifer about that time. Is there any other times that you would see them together?
No, it was always like they were always like the three of them. Like it wasn't.
Of course, it was
And
the
I'm
three of
thinking
them.
like these last 2 years, right? Like
Like,
if I ever saw Maddie was either with Jen, or she had just came from like going out with her grandpa, or being with.
And now, when it comes to details, the second they talk about this very day, she don't know not one single thing.
Like Aloysia and like if he was there, they were there together.
All right. Did you hear about the birthday party Sunday?
I end up hearing about it, but I wasn't invited because they was like super close family only.
Okay.
But I ended up.
Did Jen go to the party?
I think she was working.
Okay.
Look, okay, listen.
The job
I
that
think she
working.
was working.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, do you know if she takes any medication?
I believe.
What do you mean you believe?
She's depressed. I want to say it's either bipolar or ADHD or a combination.
Come on, you know this family. You know what's going on, bro. You know what's going on. Stop the bullshit. I know the cops are in here like, bro, I would be ready to end this. Like, this, we really don't need to be here this long, man. But every question we give you, you start the answer with a so. So, I would be looking up like, God, you know me. You know me. You know I don't got too much patience. See, this is why I can't be a detective, because I would have already blown it. This interview would have ended at 50 minutes. I would have been like, you know what, ma'am, please leave. Please fucking leave.
But she does take prescribed medication from her feedback to me throughout the years.
Has she ever tell you like how this medicine affects her?
I know that she struggled for a little bit trying to find like a good medication for her because it would affect either her appetite or her sleeping.
Oh, poor Jen, her appetite.
She struggled a little bit there. I believe she got like a really good therapist that like really understood her and got her on something that she was able to work with. Because I feel like she was doing better. Like she got this job and she was feeling really good.
Has she ever said any kind of medicine that she takes would either keep her awake or put her to sleep or anything like that?
Yeah, there was medication that would just make her feel super drowsy. Yeah. Is
that recently or in the past? Or?
It was when she was struggling a lot with it.
I'm not sure yet.
There was a night where
somebody
was trying to get into her car. Like it was super random. And I was, again, heading to the gym like at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I see it and like, I'm like, oh, like I'm crazy. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm like, I deterred them from actually breaking in. And I went inside and I was like, Jenn. And like,
wake up.
She was super sleepy. And she had mentioned to me that there was a medication that like made her feel super sleepy.
She zonked out?
That was like, oh my God. Stefan was still living upstairs because he had came down and he was like, I'm going to drive around just to make sure they're out. I was like, all right, then. But
Stefan, so the story is that I think she's trying to prove that she's really on this medication that's really hitting her, because even one time somebody was trying to get into the car and she screamed at them, they ran away, and Jenn was just so out of it. She couldn't even bring herself to know that her car, bro. And then Stefan said he was going to drive her. Do you think Stefan was ever going to do that? Do you think Stefan was ever going to confront somebody? Please, they would have killed him with their bare hands. And it was probably a 16-year-old could beat Stefan to death. That's how much of a pussy he is. Stefan went out there to see if he could make sure they were gone. What were you going to do if you found them, Stefan? What were you going to do if you found them? Hey, it's not cool, man. Hey, you better get the fuck out of here, man. That's not cool because this is my girlfriend's car. No, that's not cool, bro. Man, holy shit. I would have took the car from him if he came and chased me. Like, oh, this pussy brought the car for me. Like, what was Stefan gonna do? That's what I want to know.
And he was like, I'm going to drive around just to make sure they're out. I was like, all right, then.
I'm going to drive around. I'm gonna be the man. Boy, if you don't get your ass back in that house before somebody kills you, please.
But Stefan was still there.
Okay. Did Maddie take any medication? Do you know?
I think she needed help, like sleeping, because there was medication that she needed in order to have like a good night's sleep. I believe, according to her, like the feedback that I've received throughout the years, that she does have like ADHD. So she does need something for focus.
No, she doesn't.
But those were the
Of
only two
course.
that I understood as far as from her feedback.
Did Maddie or Jen ever talk to you about the medicine that Maddie takes?
Not in detail, like as far as the name of it or anything like that. I just know that she would vent if like they missed it, and then she would feel the after effects of not being able to sleep or anything like that. Like that's when we would talk about it. When it's like, oh man, like I got to get Maddie back on the regimen because if not, like she's not gonna get sleep, things like that.
Gotcha.
But it was never like details as far as like I don't know what it was or anything like that.
Did Jennifer ever talk about Maddie to you at all?
Very general motherhood stuff. Nothing like
Of course.
super.
This is a waste of time. This is the other waste of time. But I guess they have to finish their interview, right?
Like it was always very much like, oh my god, school and the kids growing up and Maddie with her struggles and ADHD, and then my son is on the spectrum, so we kind of bonded over that, like different like research stuff that
Like,
like that's how we bonded, is because she's really good at that. She likes to know stuff, and I like to know people that know stuff. So,
well, you don't know
but
anything.
like teenage like attitudes, excited for trips type. Trying to think like anything super like dramatic or anything, because there was never anything about like boyfriends or anything like that. Like we still looked at the kids like babies, like kids. We would take them to the pool all the time. Like let them kind of just chill. But
Did Maddie and Jen ever argue at all?
yeah, I mean, I think that they had their share of mother-daughter arguments. At least that's how I perceived it. Being that like a mom now and still a daughter, like I always perceived it as that. I never heard anything that made me think it wasn't outside of that. But yeah, they would have their arguments.
All right. Now getting to the more
Nope.
difficult questions. It's always out on the news and stuff like that.
Nope.
That Stefan may have.
Redacted.
Okay.
Nope, she sure didn't.
What do you know about that? And here's where I want you to, as tough as it may be very detailed and truthful for me.
I never would have thought that. Like,
Oh, you're driving
I
me
have
nuts.
my own trust issues, right? Because of my own experiences, and you think that you have like a good power of discernment, and trying.
So I'm pretty sure he's talking about Stefan doing things to Maddie. That's the best way to say it without being explicit, right? And still, instead of just answering the question like, no, I didn't know he would do something like that, or I had no idea. I don't know. It's just she goes into story time every single time she has something to say about like a topic that's very important. She's going to pause. She's going to say so, and then she's going to pause, and she's going to make the most the most politically correct response that she could think of. Now, I don't know if that's because she's just trying to avoid the police, maybe. Like, maybe she just doesn't fuck with the police, but it really makes me feel like she knew stuff and she's now worried that it can, like, incriminate her because she didn't say anything.
To, like, spot this shit out. I never thought that anything would be inappropriate. Like, if I ever saw him do anything, was just be like a fatherly figure in a way
So,
to her. Is deeply upset. And like I said, I have my own reservations. I don't bring people around my son like that for my own reasons. I only trust that my friends do their due diligence with the people that bring around their kids, because obviously it affects us. But I would have never thought about like him really doing stuff with her like that.
yeah, right.
Like,
Now I don't believe you.
I don't know, like I never. I thinking about it, like it just makes me feel stupid.
Maybe that's why. Maybe she feels guilty.
You can't blame yourself though.
That little
Sorry.
fake laugh is hilarious. She might be really laughing, but it's not a laugh for it. I mean, not a laugh. The fake cry. I don't know why I said laugh. That fake cry. That's like the fakest shit ever. The little, like all that shit's bullshit, man. Like I wouldn't even be trying to cry. I would just tell them what they need to know and be done with it. You don't have to fake your emotion for somebody if you just didn't care. That's what I feel like really happened. She just didn't care. You know, that's Jenn. That's what Jenn got going. And that's her little creepy boyfriend. And she left it at that. Now she's thinking that maybe something could happen to her for not helping.
No, I wish I would have fucking like saw or something I would have paid more attention or something.
At any point, did Jennifer tell you that she may have known?
Yeah, get to it.
No.
She whispered. No.
I mean, I'm very vocal, like on the way I feel about stuff. And I'm
Yes.
about our kids, man. No. Oh.
Have you ever told anybody outside of your family or Jen's family or anything like that that you may have known about?
And she may be feeling guilty.
That you knew about redacted. So again, Stefan doing weird things with Madeline. That's what I'm assuming is redacted from the audio.
No, I mean, I never would imagine that this would be happening. There was the text message that I showed you. Stephanie's my best friend. So I remember calling her and just letting her know, like, hey, I sent this message to your sister. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't want beef. And if it creates beef or anything like that, or you never know how people are going to react when you tell them how to parent or anything like that.
Right?
So I gave her a heads up because I wanted her to know, and I'm always very much open with my friends. So I had that exact same text message that you saw. That's exactly what I told her. And then I told her what the Jen replied.
She
But
did.
that's as far
She told.
as like, because that's the only time where I even questioned anything, just because of the way that I feel about stuff. I have my own reservations. But yeah, I mean, no, that's it.
So again, she's talking about the Atari situation, you know, and that kind of corroborates what Jen was saying about going upstairs to watch movies. You need to go upstairs to my ex-boyfriend to watch Disney movies. Stuff is happening, bro. 100% he's doing things to that little girl. I'm sorry. The world isn't that pure. Maybe Jin was in this false reality thinking that the world was a pure place. It's not. It's fucked up. And one, you're dating a guy like Stephen Stearns with moles on his fucking dick. He's not. No motivation. Plays with toys. Lots of medication. Checking off all the boxes. But no, you could go upstairs and watch Disney movies. You could go upstairs and play Atari. It's Jen's fault. It's Jen's fault every way you look at it. And the fact that she's not arrested is actually crazy. I don't think the friend should be, like, the friend is just a piece of shit in my opinion. She just didn't act on anything. I don't think anything could happen to the friend that was living there. But just this interview alone, as painful as it is, she is proving to us that, yeah, the kid was up there in that separate room with Stefan a whole lot. Probably a whole lot more than we really know.
Okay. And the reason I ask is somebody called it, as you can imagine, this is a very high profile case. Okay. There's people reaching out from all over the country, whatever it may be. But somebody called in a tip to me saying that you may have told somebody that you knew what was going on.
See?
Okay. Promise.
This guy looked at me in my face, knowing everything that he did to Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked at me like if he had no idea. Like, this guy is a fucking monster, and I'll never forget that.
What do you mean he looked you in the face? When?
So we were
Thank you.
trying to figure out what happened with Maddie. And like, I'm very I internalize a lot. So I'm sitting on the stairs, and I'm just like, I'm in like a daze, because like it doesn't feel real. Like it's just none of this is normal. And like I stand up, I had to wake up early the next day because I had an appointment in Osceola County. So it was Monday night. Once everything starts like Maddie's lost. And I stand up and I told Jen, like, just let me know how I can help tomorrow once I'm done with the meeting. Like, we'll pass out flyers, like we'll do everything we can to try to help her find her. And this man like he looks at me in my eyes and tells me like
Me too.
okay. And I'm like, look at him, and I'm like, no, like he's like, no, like.
What was his demeanor?
Like concerned, but he ended up getting like stupid high at some point throughout the night, so he was very numb. But
How do you know he was high throughout the night?
Because like the way his eyes were, like like very zoned out. He was high on something. But like
Did you see him throughout the night?
He was literally there with us.
You see how long it took her to say yes? Did you see him that night? He was literally there with us. The there with us took forever for her to check out. She was like, is it yes? Is it no? Was he there with us all night? He was literally there with us. Come on, bro. This shit, you needed to practice this. At least be like Jen and act like you don't know nothing and keep your story straight. She's over here fucking her whole story up.
Like very zoned out. He was high on something. But like
Did you see him throughout the night?
Yes. I mean, he was literally there with us.
He was literally there with us. Like there.
This is Monday night, or what night is
Monday
this?
night.
Okay.
Yes, there. He's like,
No, ma'am. The answer to that is yes. That's it. Just in case for the next time you're interrogated, the answer to something like that would be yes.
and then like me and Angelica are like Jen is in pieces, and like No, sir. I promise you that.
You don't gotta promise me nothing. See, again, you don't gotta promise me nothing. Just tell me what is. There's no need to be promised anything. Just tell me, what reality is. I don't have to promise you that the sky is blue. I don't have to promise you that gravity exists. Go jump off a building and see what happens. I don't have to promise you that you're going to turn into a pancake with all your organs all over the floor. I don't have to promise you that. You know what I'm saying? I promise you that if you, lean too far on the fast motorcycle, you're going to fall off and splatter on the road. I don't have to promise you that. The fuck is wrong with you? I promise you that if you don't know how to swim, you're probably going to drown. I don't really got to promise you that. The only time I have to promise you is if I'm bullshitting you.
I'm not gonna say this, but I don't like that shit, bro. Like, oh fuck it, I'll kill him, bro. I would have killed him myself if I knew anything, dog. I promise you.
See, I do feel bad.
Guys, I promise you that I don't have ovaries. I promise you. I promise. The fuck?
Did you see, other than I keep going back to Monday morning, and so when you were getting ready for your day, you didn't see or hear anybody. Do you remember what time you woke up?
At like 6:45. My son wakes up by 6:30. He's already in the shower by the time I wake up.
Have you talked to your son about this?
Very much. It's very light. My son's on the spectrum, so he takes things in very quickly, and like, not that he forgets about it, but he like compartmentalizes it, and like keeps it moving. He's well aware.
Oh wow! So just one child with autistic traits and one child who she said he was autistic or something like that, right? What do you say? Now I wonder if it's just a wild coincidence or if both parents are just nut jobs who are hoping that their child has something wrong with them, so they take them to every doctor they can find until one doctor says, "Yeah, he might be autistic." Okay, there she is. Stamp it. Autistic. Yes. Give him the drugs. Let me get a few of your Adderall, sweetie. You know what I mean? Like, what? Shit. I promise you, all kids are fucking autistic. If you put them through the doctors and all the... I'm pretty sure I'm autistic too. Like, what are we doing, guys? Now, I do understand clearly that some kids need special education to, like, function, get some, yes, that's a real thing. I'm not discrediting people who actually struggle with that. But for them to be like, oh, Madeline has autistic traits, and which one is it? I thought there was just autism and not autism. Oh no, but autistic. I'm promising you, if you take your kids to enough doctors, we're going to find enough problems. Trust me. You're going to find problems that you didn't even know existed.
But
that don't exist, I'm saying. I'm not...
The emotion side of it is a little bit disconnected just because that's the way he kind of that's the way he kind of is. But
what do you think, he would have went downstairs at any point before you did?
No.
Okay.
Now again, I'm not sure what's up with her son, but I'm just saying it's a very interesting coincidence. Now, I'm not sure if Jennifer saw that and decided to put it on Madeline, or if both of them have issues. I'm just saying a lot of parents do too much.
What kind of sleeper is he? Is he
deep? Knocks out. Always been a good sleeper.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you wake up 6:45. You do your morning routine. Did you fix lunches and stuff like that day? Okay, and you didn't see anybody. So when you fix lunches, is that right before you guys walk out the door, or okay? So if you're leaving at 7:45, so
No.
7:15, 7:30 fixing lunches, or
No, like 7:35 to 7:40. I'm downstairs. There's a quick sandwich. Everything else is like packaged. So I just grab everything, put it in there, go upstairs, get them out the door by 7:45.
okay,
So it's all within 10 minutes, pretty much.
okay. And you didn't see Steven or Maddie at
You know what's interesting? I'm starting to get it. That whole autistic traits thing probably came from the girl that she's living with. Now that you think about it, it would kind of make sense, right? Where did that whole autistic traits come from with Madeline Soto? Remember? They harped on it so hard. Oh, she's not really autistic, but the doctor said she has autistic traits. Where did we really get that idea from? Maybe it's because they were around, Miss what's her name? Miss Natalie. And they're like, maybe Madeline, maybe we should get her tested. Yeah, she said she did something like him. Maybe we should, man, parents like this, bro, they cannot wait for their children to have some type of mental problem so that they could get them on some drugs. And I really don't understand why. I really don't get it. They cannot wait to get their kids on some fucking drugs.
that point? Could you hear if any tussling around, if Maddie was getting ready
Pull out the fucking Ritalin, guys. Pull out the Adderall. Let's do this shit. You know what I mean?
for school, or if Steven was getting ready to take Maddie to school or anything like that, would you have heard it?
I mean, I was like, every time I saw Maddie, I would address her. I would say, "Good morning, babe. Good. How you doing? Like, you okay?" Like, if I would have seen Maddie, I would have addressed her. So yes, 100%.
Okay, so the times that you've heard Maddie maybe waking up or anything like that, is it noisy?
When the only reason like I see is because I see her coming out.
So, but Monday morning, dead silence, or
I didn't see her at all.
okay, dogs barking, cat meowing, anything?
No, at that time, Sailor is not barking. The cat is still typically in Jen's room.
He was. And thank you guys for hanging in here and being here. There's 600.
I'm literally about to stop this shit right here because I mean, what the fuck are we really even asking at this point? But
116 minutes come out. You got
Where like she
here. Yeah, gut feelings went right out the door in this
Do you
case.
think Maddie was home when you left?
There had been days where like she had slept over her grandma's house, but to be honest with you, I didn't think she was home.
Have you ever known Maddie to say, "Hey, I want to go to school early"?
Hell no.
wait, what kid on the planet? Wait, that's a lie. I went to high school, and there were some kids who wanted to go to school early because they were super nerds. They were worried about, those kids who are worried about their future. They're like 40 in a 16-year-old body, that type of shit. But let me tell you, it's not often that happens, especially if she wasn't the most studious girl. They said I think Jennifer even was shitting on her, saying that she got C's in school and shit. I don't think Madeline wanted to go to school early. I'm not going to school early, even if you're saying we get McDonald's to go to school early. No, thank you. Give me the extra 5 minutes. Like, you know what I mean? If she says yes, that's bullshit.
No. Have you ever known Maddie to like fast food at all?
Fast food,
I mean, yeah.
Starbucks. Like if we ever went to McDonald's, we get some nuggets, McFlurries. I mean, it wouldn't be something like she would take. Like I have never seen her not be okay with fast food. Like it.
Yeah. Just like any other kid.
Right. Like Was it constant? No. I think that because we were always like downstairs cooking and stuff. I would think that Jen was cooking for her and stuff. But I mean, I think if she consumed fast food, it was,
You know what's weird too? Jen always talks about how she's so depressed, how the medication knocks her out. She has to go to sleep early. But then on the other hand, Natalie's talking about they're always downstairs cooking. This is probably the third time that we've talked about Jennifer being downstairs cooking, Jennifer doing this, that, and the other for the family, you know, cooking for Madeline. We never heard that from Jennifer. Like, oh yeah, so I was cooking. You know, when you're cooking, that's like something you take pride in. You know, oh yeah, so I was downstairs cooking and Stefan came and got the dog. And never that. I've never heard her once talk about cooking. Again, so the friend is trying to cover. She's trying to make things look decent, probably not knowing that Jennifer's over here just blabbing her fucking soul away, not caring about nothing. So now your story don't really make too much sense. We know Jennifer was in her room sleeping all the time and probably ordered Uber Eats every day. Let's just be real with it. That's just an assumption, but I could not imagine Jen Soto getting in the kitchen every day in the state that she said she was in and making dinner. Can anybody imagine that? Those terrified, bright eyes, those wide-ass eyes with her potato face. You think she's cooking for dinner every night? Bullshit.
fairly normal. It wasn't like
So but the problem is the friend's just trying to make her look as good as possible. Again, not knowing that Jen's over there with her terrified eyes telling police officers everything out of her soul to not go to jail. To make everything look like it's Stefan. So we know about the sleeping in all day. We know about the medications. We know about y'all sleeping together. We know all that shit. Oh yeah, she was downstairs making food. She does that all the time. You couldn't get me to believe that.
out of the ordinary.
Have you ever heard Jen tell Maddie or anything like that that she wanted Maddie to go sleep somewhere else so Jen could get a good night's sleep?
No.
Which one? No. Why'd you hesitate? What? Say it with your chest. No. No, she never did that. No. No. That's all you gotta say. Shut the fuck up. Get out of here because you're bullshitting now. Somebody earlier in the comments said never put her on the stand because it will be a disaster. I second that, which is why Natalie, guys, I promise you, I'll put $100 bet in the chat. Whoever remembers it and claims it later in the future, I will cash app you $100. Natalie is never going on the fucking stand. Whenever the fuck this trial starts, whoever remembers, if I'm wrong, hit me up. The first person to hit me up, let me know. I'll cash app you $100. She is never going on the stand. That's how, and I promise you, I'll send you that shit. Mark it down, write it down, screen record it. They're never putting her on the stand because this is a disaster of a witness. Everything she says is bullshit. It's not going to help the defense, and it for sure isn't going to help prosecution. This is what you call a throwaway. Maybe we get a little information here and there, but this is definitely a throwaway.
No, if Maddie was sleeping somewhere else, it's because either Jen had to work late or she was just sleeping over grandma's house. But
that's not what Jen said.
No.
Have you ever known Maddie to sleep with Jen and Stefan in the same bed?
I've never known about that.
Bullshit.
Yes.
Bullshit.
Have had so many thoughts in my head since everything happened. I don't want to confuse what I felt before with what I feel now. But no, in my head, the way this went was that somebody was sleeping on the couch before they opened the partition area.
No.
They opened the partition area so that Maddie can sleep there. That's
how a lie.
Went in my head.
Mm-hmm.
In her head, that's how it went.
What is your gut telling you what happened?
it's very very confusing.
Oh, it's very confusing, eh? Miss Put Together. Go back to the beginning of the interview. Oh yeah, she takes her son. She does this, that, and the other. She doesn't let men stay around her son because she doesn't do that. She has a routine. But now everything's all confusing. Now things are getting cloudy. Now things are just like, oh, fuck. Oh, so I can't remember. I'm so confused. Like sometimes I'm just trying to get home. I just don't even play the damsel in distress as hard as you can, and maybe they won't suspect you. I feel like that's what's happening with all these ladies. I didn't know. Oh my! I didn't even know Stefan would do such a. These people are living in the same house, folks. I don't know if you guys ever lived with somebody before. That's not your family. You know what they're doing. You understand what they do day to day. You know what subconsciously you know what's happening. You're not, unless you're just stupid and you like wear headphones 22 hours of the day and you just stay in your room all day. That's the only way you won't know something's happening.
In the sense of like, because this man looked at me in my eyes with no like acting like he didn't just do what he did, I feel very insecure. Just in general.
Yep.
The way I view people, I guess. Maybe I'm not as smart as I thought I was type.
You're clearly not.
I just feel really insecure about everything because it just makes
insecure.
Me feel like anything I ever knew was not right. Like if this was really going on, like, and we didn't see anything, like, that's how I feel. I feel a lot of guilt. Like, I feel like, man, were we just not paying attention? Like, I don't know.
Do you think Steven had something to do with this?
What?
Do you think Stefan had anything to do with it?
God.
Taking the equation out, what you know now.
Right.
Leading up to it.
Like, before everything went down, dude, I would have never thought that this would happen. I would have never thought that he was capable of doing anything to her.
Do you think Jennifer had anything to do with this?
She whispered again. No.
Why do you say that?
No.
Not like that. We're not, dude. Like, we love our kids.
Jenn never loved her kid. I'm pretty sure Jenn never gave a fuck about her kid. That was collateral. You know what that kid was? That was the mistake she made with the Navy guy who fucked her and left her high and dry and married his wife or his longtime girlfriend. That's what Madeline was. She was just that big mistake that now she has to drag along with her around life. And because of that, and because she adopted that mindset that this is just some mistake that I shouldn't even have, she was more so, I would feel like, open to open to doing weird, nasty shit with her child and her boyfriend. You know? She was more open to it because, fuck it anyway. I didn't want this anyway, so might as well have a little fun with it, right? Keep in mind, bro left her high and dry and married his girlfriend, Madeline's real father. You know what that says? Nobody really wants Jenn. So she's over here. She got herself a little boyfriend. Somebody finally wanted her. And she has this little girl with her. Might as well, if he wants the little girl and if he wants to do little things with the girl and he'll stay, well, I guess I could figure it out. She was never meant to be a mom.
Oh, that would break my heart.
I'm not saying she did. I'm just asking.
I know, but no, I can't see her. I can't see her being okay with this. No.
Did she say bro?
I can't see her being okay with this. I can't see her allowing this to happen.
Have you seen any of the interviews on the news that Jennifer's done?
Don't lie.
There was
Don't lie. Don't you lie.
a snippet,
Oh, you saw a snippet? How many minutes?
Now she's
and I
not
literally
going.
came across it because it just appeared.
And how do you feel about her now?
You
I
did,
mean, I know Jen. I know
bro.
at least what I know of Jen is I know when she's nervous, right? I know when she's not okay. And what I saw there was someone that, and again, it's a snippet. I haven't seen all of them. I don't know how many she did. And I think that, I mean,
I've spoken to her several times already.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're speaking, she seems a little disconnected. Is that normal?
so a lot of, and
So a
maybe
lot of times, so when Jen was small, when Jen was when Jen was 12 years old, she got hit in the head, and it made her a little bit more introverted. It made her kind of spacey. So when Jen is yes or fucking no. So one time, me and Jin were out, and we were like at this party, and a boy was talking to her, and when he spoke to her, she acted like he wasn't even there, and I said, "Girl, what was the problem?" And she was like, "Oh, I was having one of my hallucinations." We don't need to hear the fucking background story. This is somebody struggling and scrambling and scraping for time. I promise you. So, oh.
Ah,
Sometimes when we're speaking, she seems a little disconnected. Is that normal?
so a lot of, and maybe this was my mistake, but a lot of the, if there's any type of like disconnection, I would say would be because of the medication.
No. Does it happen a lot or not? Does it happen? Oh, she's trying to get you there. She's trying to get you, almost as if she answered the question. She didn't answer shit. I don't want to hear about her medication. Does she space out a lot? Does she seem like a fucking moron who's on Pluto right now? Yes or no? No, not too often. I mean, every once in a while. Or yeah, she kind of does that a lot. I don't know. I just kind of ignore it. That's it. Nah, we have to go through her whole life story and the medications and why the doctors changed it and what medication she's doing a little bit better on. And come on, bro.
oh no, not
Like if I
again.
ever felt like she was just like not like a little bit out there, I would always atone it to like the medication that she was on.
Is that quite often or very rare or?
But she was doing really well recently.
Yeah.
No, we like in the most recent months, me speaking to her, she was very clear, very cohesive,
Of course.
like communicating back, being happy in a sense, like in a better mood.
My meds.
What's
You
up,
know, I mean,
Bishop?
and again, seeing her now, I atone that to either maybe over medicating or being severely depressed or like it's not her normal self. But yeah, if there's ever been time in the past where I felt like we were having conversation and she was kind of out there, I thought it would be because of the medication.
Have you ever noticed any change in?
Yo, Christine, thank you for the gifted membership, man. I thought Mary Foster got it. Amy Sumner got the gifted membership. I appreciate you, Christine. And Ann Cloutier with the 50 gifted memberships the other day. I appreciate the $2, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.
Either Jen's demeanor or Maddie's demeanor when Stefan.
Yeah. Crime, remember, you're right. Everything was resolved around Jen Soto's drugs. Right? Get out of here.
Moved out.
I would think that it was because of them actually being broken up and her having her space and not having him
You
upstairs.
said Jen could work at a pharmacy? Nah, don't take her there. Jen would OD in the first week. You would find Jen over there seizuring and foaming up at the mouth and shit. What's wrong? She mixed like 3 different types of pills that day. That's what's wrong. She was like, oh, I'm just counting these pills. It wouldn't hurt if I put one in my mouth. Doing another one, doing another batch. Oh, I'm just counting these pills. What? You know what I mean? She would be in there eating that shit like Skittles. Fucking M&Ms. Don't shit. Her working in the pharmacy, she would be dead in a week. Foaming at the mouth.
Like, I do feel like it was a better mood, a better situation. Again, I saw her in like a better light, but
Did she seem happier, sad, angry?
I think there was moments where she would felt lonely, maybe. After being with someone for so long, I can't imagine breaking up and stuff and then having to be alone. But I would say that. I would say feel lonely. But all in all, I want to say it was like a good move. Like it was a good thing. Like
Did Jennifer ever talk to you about her and Stefan's sex life at all?
No.
Come on.
Did she ever talk to you about her sex life in general at all?
I mean, I know her like sexual orientation, right? But that's as far as like we talk in regards to that. I don't
What is
really,
that?
honestly talk to my friends too much about that.
She likes girls and
Like
boys.
super intimate, no. But we know each other's orientation and what we like.
Got it. Now, for Jen, does she like boys or girls? Both?
Both.
Okay. Any idea about Stefan?
I'm pretty sure he likes girls and boys too. As long as they're under the age of fucking 13, he'll go for girl, boy, joy. He'd go for anything. He don't give a fuck. Stefan is a weird motherfucker. I wouldn't put nothing. Listen, you can't even give him a real sexuality. He's just a chomo. That's his sexuality. Chomo. So it don't really matter. That's all spectrums of life. As long as they're under a certain age. He's ageist. He don't care about nothing else but age. As long as you under that certain level, we good to go. No problems. Girl, boy, whoever the fuck you are, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Boys, girls, both?
No.
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 Did Jen ever tell you that she's sexually active still?
No. If I would assume if she was, it would have been with Stefan. But I mean, we didn't talk about anybody new or anything like that. Like, as far as I know, she was on the Long Island. Like, we were all.
Has she ever told you?
Yo, Elvis, thank you for the membership, man. Shout out Elvis for getting their own membership, man. Appreciate you. Welcome to the gang, man. Go check out the archive. It's fucking lit.
That her sex drive is gone. Anything like that?
So I think at some point she had mentioned that as far as like part of like the symptoms.
When did she mention this to you?
During the time that she was having a difficult time with her medication, trying to find something out. But it was very like it was just one of the symptoms. Like, we didn't go into it.
Of course.
Because again, we didn't really, like, we don't go into like super sexual stuff.
Right.
Are you sure?
Yo, Gerda, thank you for the gifted membership as well, man. You guys are showing love out here. Thank you, Gerda. Everybody shout her out.
Is there anything that I need to know regarding this case that we haven't talked about today that you think?
No, if anything, I have questions. But
What questions do you have? Some may not be able to answer,
no,
but
I don't. I've been so like with blinders on, and I told myself that once I moved out of that place that I could like accept new information.
are you completely moved out? Like all your stuff gone?
Yeah. I'm supposed to help Angelica between 1 or 2 to move out the rest of her stuff.
Because I need to talk to her again today too.
That's pretty much it. I'm gonna stop it there. Damn, I really thought her friend was gonna do a lot more to help. the detectives, but what she really did, I wouldn't say she helped Jenn Soto, but she did a lot to attempt and help Jenn Soto, which is still piece of shit status in my opinion. Pretty piece of shit status to me. But yeah, it shows that that household was for sure freaky. Not in a good way. I like freaky in a good way, but there were some Diddy freaks in that fucking household. I promise you. Because again, bro, I couldn't imagine living with roommate. I listen, at one point I was me, my ex, the girl, okay, all right. It's me and my ex, then there was a girl, there was a guy, then there was another guy. How much people is that? Right? That's 5 people. Was it only 5 of us? 5 people. It is almost impossible to just live your life without having to intertwine with them people. And mind you, this was a larger house. It was a big house. Nice, a big ass living room, huge dining room, different room sets, big ass kitchen, big refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? It was a big ass house. We were on the top floor. Everybody was helping to pay the rent. Boom, bam, slam, right? It was almost impossible not to bump into those people. You don't want to see them. You're gonna see them. That's how life is with roommates. If they were bringing children into the house and doing weird fucking shit with the children, I would have known, bro. My ex would have known. The other girl down the hallway would have known. Everybody would have known. That's all I'm trying to say. Maybe some of you guys haven't really lived with roommates before, but roommates, it's hard to keep. Your life is pretty shared. The information is shared amongst the group. So again, this friend is full of shit. Pretty hardcore full of shit. I will stick by that. But until the next one, folks, there's a lot of little things coming out about the Madeline Soto case. So I will be covering those as they come out. I'm still not sure when the trial for Stearns is, but I'm really hoping the news that Jenn has been arrested comes before the trial. But we'll find out.